size of that lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
No. We've been, over the last couple months, every other Friday, we've been getting about 300 cars through there in the course of about 2 hours without much issue. So I'm pretty sure. They were saying no more than 50 per hour on this. I think we'll be okay.
Yes, by appointment, right? You can't just drive up. You have to have arrangements made ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll still have allowable parking for those utilizing the ice?
We should have. The way that it was outlined to us, that it should not be a problem.
Mayor,
Yeah.
Dennis only had one rental that day, and it's from 10 a.m. until 11:20. He's texting me because his internet went down. So he only has the one that he'll be open for at that time.
So that's just at the beginning, because it goes from 10 a.m. to
Right.
8 p.m. So by 11:30, all events would be over at the community center. Is that right?
Yeah, so he said the bathrooms will only be open for that hour, because otherwise the people will be going home. That
Okay.
are the building supervisors.
Yeah. So, but advise them. I would still restrict it to just the people that are part of the organized teams coming in.
That's what he's saying. The bathrooms will only be open for an hour. Everybody who walks in will have to be screened, and he's only going to do it for his team that's coming in.
Okay.
So you don't, for the food truck, correct?
Yep.
Okay, that's what, we're going back and forth on texting, so I'll make sure he knows that, sir.
Okay. I mean, that's how I feel about it anyway.
Okay,
Further discussion? Hearing none, then clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Reading,
yes,
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. I think this pile here never ends. So, next item, resolved that resolution number 2020-260 regarding amending the building department fee schedule be removed from the table.
so moved.
Support.
Okay, clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Reading,
Yes,
Ross,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. So then we have the item removed from table, which is our next item, correct?
Yeah.
So whereas section 209.01 of the City of Lincoln Park Codified Codes states council may by resolution from time to time adopt service, fee, license, permit, application, and user fee charges for its agencies and departments. And said charges to be paid forthwith by the individual or business against whom or which said charges are assessed. And whereas it is necessary to recalibrate trade, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, permit fee schedules administered by the building department. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lincoln Park Mayor and Council does hereby amend the City of Lincoln Park trade fee schedule for those permits and services provided by the Lincoln Park Building Department as presented in attachments, and said attachments be implemented and given immediate effect.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, then we'll open it up for discussion.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So immediate effect, meaning effective September 22nd, right?
That would be how I would. So somebody coming in to get a permit on the 22nd, the fees would apply.
Okay. And then I trust that everyone got John's email, and we all got the additional fee schedules.
That would be my fault, I apologize. I just realized there were 4 tabs on that when I was looking at it, and I only printed the first page. I apologize.
Well, that explains the whole confusion,
Study
from
session.
the last time it was up, and then the questions that I had when we received this packet. But if I may, I don't know if anybody else is looking at a printout. I just want to verify with Mr. Myers,
6:30 p.m.
the mechanical fee schedule under new ductwork or alterations over 15,000. I know when I looked at it on the computer, it said $100, but when it printed out, it didn't print out. It gave me like the number sign symbol all the way across. I just want to make sure that it should be $100.
It should be $100.
Okay. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Alrighty, additional discussion? Hearing none, then,
Mayor?
who is it?
John Myers?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Can I ask for an amendment on this document for the sake of the lowest bidder going into business? If you would look at any one of the documents that you might have, you'll find the first column starting with administrative fee, construction registration fee, general inspection, rough inspection, re-inspection, and underground inspection. Those are the administrative guidelines for this whole mathematical equation. And I missed one line on it because we changed the old terminology from a base fee to a rough and a finished fee. And if we don't have that finished inspection fee, let me give you an example. If I'm an electrician and I'm going into a house because they pulled a permit to put a new electrical panel, nothing else but electrical panel on the wall, that base fee or that finished inspection, because it's not finding out what problems they have, it's going, I want a permit to put this up, I'm gonna put it up correct, they're gonna come in, give me a final inspection and approve it. I did not put the final inspection line in there with its fee, and I'd like to add that at this time.
I would move for that amendment.
Well, is it all right with the mover and supporter?
All right, no problem.
Yes.
Okay,
But how is that different from a re-inspection fee?
In an inspection process, when you pull an application to do a project, we're not looking for the problem, we're looking for a contractor who did the job correctly. A re-inspection fee would be when we go into that panel and we find out we did not wire it correctly. Then we're going to deny the final inspection, which is not on the list, and then ask him to call us when he has it corrected, and that's where the re-inspection fee takes place.
Okay. So when,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Myers. I guess, why isn't the final inspection, I guess, a courtesy? Because you're pulling the permit.
Correct. In the past, before we went to the system we're in now, they used to use the courtesy inspection as 2 inspections under the terminology base fee. I got crazy enough and changed it to the modern day thinking, and I separated that base fee from a base fee that gave you 2 inspections if you needed a rough and a final, to a rough and separated it to a final. So the final is missing from the checklist of what would normally have been a base fee and covered 2 inspections. But because we run all of our inspectors not on hourly rate, but on inspection rate, we don't want to lose our financial minimum by charging less than what it would cost me to have administrative work and 1 inspection to go out by the inspector. So there's this base fee that secures that no matter what the smallest project possibly could be done in a residential house. So example, today if we did this with a final inspection at $25, and we did, if you look down through the list in the electrical residential, and you found the furnace and air conditioning put together, this fee total would be $90 compared to today, we're spending $115. That would be the smallest type, but we could get one inspection in, and we'd be, with paying our inspectors the fee that they're asked for, and we'd get our admin fee paid for. We wouldn't lose any, we wouldn't make any money, but we certainly wouldn't lose anything. So we want to get the smallest amount to not lose anything, and we've got to get the largest amount of biggest projects so that we properly get a fair assessment out of their project. So what I missed on this line was the other half, which is a final inspection, and that's all they need. We're going in, we're not doing a rough framing, we're just going in and looking at one project. It's electrical, it's a final. If it passes, we're done. I'd recommend, my recommendation originally with the mathematics would be that that final inspection line be added with a $25 fee. And that would give us the safety of protecting the smallest possible project that anybody could do, and we'd never lose our shirt.
Okay, so Carrie, you have that, the amendment, right? So the change, Councilwoman Ross, you had additional?
Yes, I just want to make sure we're adding this final inspection fee to all four,
Correct.
right? Okay.
So no matter how small that project would be in a residential, it wouldn't be so small that we couldn't cover our own expenses.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, is there further discussion? Clerk, call the roll then.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next item, whereas the city has received an offer for purchase of city-owned property commonly known as 1360 Empire, and whereas the city wishes to sell the south 10 feet of the property to the neighbor, Mr. Larry Fritzley. Now therefore be it resolved, the mayor and city council hereby authorize the city manager and city attorney to sell said property for the purchase price of $250 and prepare all related documents for the signature of the mayor and city clerk.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. The next item is to resolve to establish a,
Actually, the next item is to set that study session.
yeah, that's where I was headed. Do you got do you have the language?
Resolved that a study session be scheduled for October 5th at 6:30 PM to discuss commercial dumpsters and trash receptacles.
I'll move on that.
Support.
Okay, discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mayor Carnes?
Yes.
Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Breeding?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Parkinson?
Yes.
And Ross.
Yes.
And Mr. Myers, I would like you to be present, and again, our city planner also at that meeting.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, the next item that we have is resolved that the accounts and claims payable for those items greater than $25,000 be approved as follows. Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority, July 2020 sewage user fee, September 2020 excess flow charges, $266,406.48. DTE Energy, August 2020 electric, gas, and streetlights, $65,819.48. GFL Environmental USA Incorporated, September 2020 residential curbside and recycling, August 2020 DPS dumpsters, $198,328.81. Great Lakes Water Authority, July 2020 water billing, lead and copper rural water sampling, $220,536.81. Hutch Paving Incorporated, 2020 road bond asphalt resurfacing, $286,143.28. Inland Waters Pollution Control, 2020 sanitary sewer Cured in Place, $196,729.20. McKenna Associates, August 2020 Building Department Services / Permits, $63,138.
Support.
Discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
I'm sorry, who was the mover on that?
Donna.
Don, okay. Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. So we have reached the time for our city manager's report. And Ms. Krazan?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm going to keep it kind of short and sweet due to the fact that it's coming up to 10 o'clock tonight. So, a couple bits of good news. We have now, in our assessing department, filled the appraiser position, which is the fulfillment of our corrective action plan with the state of Michigan. So that's fantastic, and we're moving forward there. We have also made an offer, and the offer has been accepted to a full-time mechanic for the DPS. This has been a position that's been vacant for a little while, so we're really excited. The mechanic is now going through the pre-employment process, and hopefully we'll have him on board real soon. Other good news, we got word at the end of last week that we had been approved for 2 different grants through the state of Michigan. One was to help cover the costs of payroll that was incurred during the COVID-19 pandemic. This totaled somewhere over $400,000.
Wow.
That was a big help. And then also, we did receive the hazard pay bonus grant from the state of Michigan, so that was $65,000 that is going directly back to our police and fire. So that's all I'm going to put out for the evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Anything for the city manager?
Your Honor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
James, you gave us a sewer backup list for the last form. Do we do any follow-ups with this list? Because
So that list was a list of all of the homes that had called and reported they were having a backup, and DPS had gone out and actually done their investigation and looked at what was going on. And of those, I believe it's got to be, I think 98% of those homes DPS made contact with while they were at the location. Now, these are different from claims, right? These are people who called to say they have a backup and DPS has been out. Doesn't necessarily mean that they filed a claim with our insurance company.
Right. So I know that protocol is that they do call, though, to tell you that, their basement's backed up. But are they supposed to call you back, like, when they find out that it's not the city's responsibility, or is that strictly DPS just kind of checks them off the list?
Well, DPS is the one who goes out and determines if they can find an issue within our system. And it's usually at that point, if it's within the residence line, that I believe they'll have their own plumber come out. And sometimes the plumbers will work with DPS.
Right. No, I want to say they do a great job. I was actually, that last storm, my neighbor ended up calling me, and I went down the street to help her because she doesn't speak much English. And not that my Spanish is really good, but I ended up calling the police department for her, and we did have a DPS worker come out and did say that it was not the city. So yes, she called a plumber, and it turned out, of course, that it was roots in the line, and they cleared that. So I think that does happen more than what we realize. It's got to just be coincidence that it happens during a storm.
Well, it doesn't help that during a storm, the home's footing drains are draining into the system as well. And so that's where the backup's going to occur, because there's the additional flow from the footing drains.
Right. Okay, well, thank you, and I thank DPS for the great work that they do in making sure that they hit every house that calls.
Anything else for the city manager?
Just briefly, it's getting late, through the chair.
Yes, sir.
If they do file a complaint, James, and we follow up and then we send them a letter, do we get a list later on, that says that they did file a complaint and what follow-up was from the city, if it was, resolved and the insurance company denied it?
You're talking about a claim?
Yeah, a claim, not, when they file a claim, it's not what do you call it, a class action, it's just an individual
Right.
claim they file, and the city turns it to the insurance company, and they determine, or the city determines, and then they send them a letter and say, yes, no, or whatever. I just want to make sure that we can follow up and the communication gets, so we can find out what's happening if we are having issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and got any more good news? That's my second question.
I thought that was pretty good for the night.
That was good. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep. All right, anything else for the city manager? Hearing none, then we will open it up for citizen communications. Those wishing to speak, just remember that give your full name, and then you'll have the 5 minutes wish to speak. So James, if you will unmute them,
I have unmuted, so everybody
and then,
themselves.
so is there anyone that wishes to address council? Okay, I'm not hearing anyone at this point, so we will open it up to oral reports of the council. Council President Breeding.
As far as the passing for the Honorable RBG, I'm hoping, I'm praying that all of her hard work that she dedicated her life to will not be undone through the appointment of the next Supreme Court judge. This woman worked so hard, so many years, for equality, and I'm just hoping that everything isn't wiped off. Secondly, I want to congratulate Officer Blaylock, is that his name, for the Life Saving Ribbon Award that he's going to be getting. And that's all that I have. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Salcido.
Yes, Rowena, thank you very much. Just a couple items, it is getting late. I'm happy to hear that we do have a full-time mechanic at the DPS. Obviously, it's long overdue. We have a new business on 4th Street in Riverbank called the Garden Market. Please check it out. Nice neighborhood store. I've been in there twice. It's clean. Vegetables, fruits. Got a nice cooler system in there with drinks. And last but not least, I have some sad news. This is the last day of summer. So we have fall coming. It's getting darker earlier, so be mindful of kids walking in the streets. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had ZBA training this past Thursday, so I just want to publicly thank Leah DeMichelle, our city planner, and John Myers for doing everything that they can to help us out and teach us, and all the time that they spend making us better. Also, this coming weekend is our citywide yard sale weekend. So just a reminder to please wear your masks. I know that I ended up having a garage sale at my house. So if I could offer a little suggestion, it's to have a bottle of hand sanitizer out. And when you handle that money, just a little hand sanitizer afterwards will help, I'm sure, because everything worked out fine for us. So happy garage selling. And then, I also attended the Public Safety Commission, and Fire Chief happened to mention that the open house for the fire department is canceled this year. So just in case anybody was out there wondering, I know that, a lot of us look forward to that. So, and that's it. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Higgins.
I just also want to remind everybody about the free garage sale this weekend. It is something that been asked about a lot by a lot of people. So please get out, enjoy. We don't have very many good weekends left. Winter's coming. Come up, enjoy the day, and find some bargains. Off for tonight.
Oh, thank you, sir. Councilman Kelsey.
Short and sweet. I hope everybody has a nice night, and I hope the weather doesn't get too cold too quick. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, sir. And Councilman Parkinson.
Yeah, I'm going to make this short. I think we did a lot of stuff tonight. I'd like to see the dangerous building board or the dangerous building codes updated, because I've seen them sit for 3, 4, 5 years. It's about time we straighten out the problem. That's all I got tonight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Earlier this week was attended the grand opening. I think it's the Big Splash Car Wash. For those of you that have been in town for a long time, you'll remember it as the old Pat's Car Wash on Southfield, where the entrance is off of Cleophas. I was really impressed by the amount of work, and particularly the cement work that went into getting this building ready for opening. It is 110% over what it was before. So if you have an opportunity, stop in and take a look, because it did make a direct improvement for, in particularly as you see it from Cleophas, but also on Southfield, and that's directly across from the police department next to the library there. All right, and with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move. Or
All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Salcido,
yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Reading,
Yes, yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross.
Yeah.
And Mayor Carnes.
Yes.